Okay, here we go. It's 10:02. And how are you? Ted Richards says, and now here he is, live and in living color. Jack. I can already tell I left my phone back there. I was in a hurry, I was like a Mormon on the wedding night. I was just, beside myself. Well, they waited so long. I've been waiting for a girl like you to come into my room. Can you imagine how it must have felt for Donny Osmond back in the 70s to have thousands and thousands of girls everywhere screaming his name? Not so much Alan, you know what I'm saying? Screaming his name. They were his, except they had parents most times. And then he tells a story about going back to the hotel room, and he would eventually start suffering from panic attacks. There's emergency vehicles going by now. Um, and I think it was Merrill, one of the brothers, found Donnie just cowering in a corner, crying. And he said, I feel so alone. I feel so alone, Merrill. But he said, Donnie, you have just had thousands of girls screaming your name. Yeah, I can go to a bakery and see the most delicious baked goods I've ever seen, but if I can't have one, if I can't have one, and not just for the sex, but for as human as Rick Springfield sang about the need for the human touch, the human touch. Why I'm opening like this, I have no idea. It probably means there'll be another one of those crazy nights. So thank you, Ted Richards. John Underson. Hi, Jack, John, and Sarah here. Oh, there's activity out there on the street. John and Sarah here. You messaged me something this week about a family member that was not doing well. And I wish I could recall it at the moment. When I see something like that, I tend to pray for it right away as I'm sitting here, because if I don't, I could forget. So that's how I do it. Brenda Noyce is here. Did she add another initial? Oh, Brenda Liam Noyce. I see. Hello, Brenda Liam. Hi, Jack and family. Um, Barbara Kendall is here from the Kendalls, that great country and Western group. Well, no, Western. You guys were more modern country, weren't you? Weren't you? Hi, Jack and everyone. Tammy Tessie J from Brighton, England is here. Hello, Jack and all. And that's it. Everybody else is just saying more stuff. So welcome to you. How are you on this Saturday? I have the fan on in the studio. You can't see it. It's back there. I still can kind of feel it, but things have changed. Last weekend when I came on, there was snow on the ground on a Saturday, and I was cold. I don't know if I had a long sleeve. What did I wear last week? I don't remember. I don't think I wore a long sleeve shirt, so I was definitely cold. But you'll see the pictures kind of flapping in the breeze a little bit, and that means that the fan is on. Yeah, I've been on and now I'm gone. No, I'll be here for a while, Lord willing, and technology survives. If we do crash, what's been happening lately is that I'll immediately be able to restore the same stream, and most of the audience stays because it doesn't take me long to do it. If we have a different kind of crash, if it freezes on the screen, then it's a major problem. What's been happening is if we do have a crash that comes right back, when I say good night and press the end stream button, it doesn't end. and I just have to pull the camera and what have you and try to get the stream down. I'm always unsuccessful. And somewhere down the road, 15, 20 minutes, miraculously, the stream resets. That's been happening. That gives the people in the chat room here um, time to talk amongst themselves. Yeah. Always nice when the family gets together. I agree. What a week it's been, Ted. Neo joins us saying, hey, hey, we're the monkeys. People say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down. And Christari, hello, hello. How are you feeling, Christari? What's going on with you? Patrick Wilburn, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hi, Patrick. How is Christina? Thank you so much for hitting the Cash App last live show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lisa Slaughter is saying hello. Any relation to Alvin Slaughter? I interviewed Alvin Slaughter back in the day when I was at Sound of Live Radio Network, contemporary Christian music for the whole family. We're the sound of life. I remember those days. I love my days up there. It was part-time. I was pretending to be a peace officer full-time at a homeless men's shelter. But I love my Saturday afternoons and lots of fill-ins when I could at the network there. We started with just one station when I got there. By the time I left 11 years later, it was 14. And I can already see the number 10 up here. So I got to keep scrolling down. There it is. John Anderson, $10. We love you, Jack. John and Sarah. Oh, maybe. Yeah, the phone's not back there. It's in me pocket. It's right here in me pocket. I'm slow, but eventually I catch on. You can pull the wool over my eyes, but eventually I'll say, I could just pull it back up. 10, 15 minutes, I realize that, That's how it goes. Sam Sammy. Hello, Sam Sammy. Talking to Tammy, my love. Joanne Nitzy is here. Hi, Jack and family. I'm going to change your last name, Joanne, to something a little better. It's going to be Joanne Nicely from now on. Is that all right with you? Joanne Nicely. Downtown. No, he's not here. I don't think he is. Fancy Nancy DeMarco is here. Another Nancy. Yes. Saying hello to Tammy. Apparently, Tammy, you are number one with a bullet tonight. And I know someone that'll try to thwart that. They'll say they're in an iron lung or something. Something like that. I'm just funning you. No, I don't think so. You don't think you're to be related to Lisa, to be related to Alvin, you'd have to be a brown person. He was on the Trinity Broadcasting Network. I don't know that he isn't. He's still alive. He's lost some weight. He used to be huge, and it was scary because he was young, thank goodness, but he was way too big, and he lost a lot of weight. Got to interview him at one of his concerts, and he was a great interview. He used to do the Benny Hinn Crusades a lot. He used to do that. Jackie Oregon. Jack, it's raining and cold here. See, now you're going to face, we're on the upswing, and in Aussie land, the kangaroos that apparently work is either messengers or sometimes they do Uber runs. They put the food in their pouch and they hop to the location. They're going to get wet doing it. Don't forget to tip your kangaroo, okay? They got to make a living too, Heather Feather. Hello, Heather. Karen Phillips, hi, Jack and everyone. And keep us informed on that weather down under. How can you be under if the earth is flat? You tell me. How can you be under? I got some flatters here. I do. Some people here are, how am I going to do this joke? Some people are all about the flat, just like Twiggy was. Anybody remember Twiggy? What the heck did she do anyway? She showed up. She was kind of comical, but I don't know that she did a movie. She didn't sing, I don't think. What the hell was Twiggy about? I don't know, Georgia Peach, but it's good to have you here. No, your name is not really Peach. I get it. You just make a heck of a peach cobbler. But I'm going to tell you about my new medication that I'm on, and so I think it deals with your psyche a little bit. It gives you a feeling of no, you don't need to eat that. So without further ado, when I saw Dr. Purdue, that would be good if it was Dr. Purdue. It would rhyme. I'd be a poet and not even know it. When I saw Dr. Gapai, who I have known for over 30 years, I can't even remember when I first saw him. We were both younger people. I can tell you that much. He asked me if since I'm now technically a diabetic by just like one or two, I got an A1C of 6. It's not really bad. My blood sugar numbers, he gave me a monitor now for the first time, but it's not really anything to worry about. My blood sugar, anytime they've ever taken it there, has been fine. But he said, would you go on Ozempic? And I've heard about that. And one of the things that popped into my mind is Noreen, who got the CPAP and hated it. And then she got the doctor to give her the Ozempic, and she lost the weight, and that kind of took care of the sleep apnea, which I've had for like 30 years, 25 years untreated. And so she's very happy about that, you know. So I thought I'd give it a try, but now I'm worried that I'm on too many expensive drugs, and I could lose all my coverage by September or October, except for the Camzyos, which is the real expensive drug. Anybody know what, if I was paying out of pocket, what Ozempic would cost? I know there's different doses, but what's the starting? I'm on 2.5 right now, and I'm going to stay there for a couple of weeks before I move on. So, John, thank you so much. Manjaro, Manjaro, whoa, Manjaro. Karen is on Manjaro. She is. She is. That and 2,000 other drugs. And then there'll be someone who'll come on and say, oh, you can, if you do this and you do that, you won't need to be on any of them. I understand. We both have these, Amazon boxes of pills. Anybody else do this? You get something from Amazon in the mail and you say, that would make a good pill box. And mine is getting a little ruddy. And I put it under the coffee table where it's out of sight. And Karen keeps hers down on the floor too by her computer. So that's how life is. I mean, when we were in second grade together, Karen and I, in 1965, we didn't have pill boxes. No. There weren't that many choices then either. It's going pretty fast. We're at 65, 10 likes. Oh, 10 likes, not enough. Please hit the like button. I like it when you like. If you like anything at all, don't forget, hit the like button. Let's see that jump up. Marty Greco, you tell him. Marty Greco. Marty, downtown. Why do I want to call you? You're uptown, Marty Greco. Jeez. I've got to get something that rhymes with it, though. More fun than the gecko, Marty Greco. I do like that chap, though. He's got what, an Australian accent? The Gecko. I do like him. Jack, I tried that ridiculous CPAP too. I soon told them to come and pick it up. They did. They're real clever now, Georgia Peach. For a long time, you go through the sleep study, and of course, 9.5 times out of 10, they say you need a CPAP. And people go all through that torturous experience trying to get to sleep in the sleep center. That in the 80s, that was the bomb. They were falling over themselves to get a sleep center, and so the insurance company started to get real upset with them. And then they said, well, you can do a home study. But then at 62, they don't want you doing a home study anymore. So there you go. Shelley is here from Canada. Jesus has risen. Amen, amen. Technically, he will, well, it was really Saturday night, so you could be right. Or you could be crazy. John Anderson is saying $1,300. Well, wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't it be nice to get 1,300? Someday someone who's rich will come on here. So thank you, John and Sarah. I love that spelling with an H. Very, very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Donna is here. How are you feeling? Better, I hope. Are you feeling better, Ted? Tomorrow's menu from Brenda Lehman Noyce is Sammy, she's telling, ham, truckee. Oh, that's one of those turkeys that truckies like. I get it. Potato salad. Oh, Karen even talked about that. No. Mashed taters. It should be a law. Devil eggs. You mean Satan's eggs you're going to eat? I think you better put an ED on there, Brenda. Green beans. Well, if they're fresh and you don't boil the hell out of them. Rolls. Mexican rice. Machismo? What the heck is that? Corn, kielbasa, more mashed potatoes, gravy. Got to have the gravy, Brenda Lehman Noyce. You do. You know, but yeah, you got to have mashed potatoes. Potato salad is for when you're having like a picnic, you know, and the baked beans and all that. Homemade potato salad. Don't ever buy that potato salad or coleslaw or macaroni salad that's, you know, in the, say, in the deli, but it's not from them. It's from somebody else. It tastes like manure, not manure, but it tastes like some sweet garbage. It's total garbage. I don't know how many times. Remember, Judy. Good evening. Evening, Jack. Just got off. Well, another hard day of work is behind you. If I were a DJ and you said that to me at 3:00 in the morning on the request line, could have went a whole other way. I just couldn't resist that comment. Let's see. Oh, dear. Belinda Taylor talking to Nancy DeMarco. If we meet each other next weekend at Household of Faith, that would be so cool. Both get there early. The line is forming earlier than ever. 8:00 ain't going to cut it. I'm telling you, it's going crazy. It's a phenomenon, and now it's warming up, you know? I'm just telling you, I don't want you to be disappointed. Yeah, it could be much earlier than that. You need to be there. It's just the way it is. Kitty Hewitt, hello, everyone. And Mr. Jack, happy Easter. Happy Easter to you. Jack, Twiggy was just skinny. What the heck did she do? She was on variety shows, right? Was she in movies? I just remember she was pretty prominent in the 1960s. And she was definitely, you know, no, I can't say that. I can't say that. Oh, dear. I'm going to have to bite my tongue. Okay, I did. Sort of. I don't want it to bleed, you know. That would not be good TV. Yeah. Marty Greco says, hi, Jack, and happy Easter, everyone. Yes, Marty Greco. Happy Easter to you. Twiggy was the first supermodel? Well, she certainly wasn't she wasn't modeling brassieres. I'll tell you that right now. Remember, they used to call them brassieres. And whatever happened to pantyhose? They don't have them anymore. And they don't have the cosmetics anymore where the powder puff, right? I tried to find that this week because I have a blotchy face, you know. I don't know what medication is doing it, but I have to apply makeup before air. And when I go out to certain places where I don't want that look, you know. But here I am holding up Doc Watson's gift to me, a birthday gift, which is a beautiful keyboard um, that runs off of GPS or Bluetooth. So we're still, since this is a hard line here, we're still trying to, decide how to use it. But look at me there, huh? Look at that. I'm not always that red when I don't apply cover up, but that was an example and a half. I mean, look at that. You'd think my blood pressure was something like, you know, 300 or something, but no, my blood pressure is well controlled by metoprolol. But I don't know. I'm gonna probably go to the dermatologist and see what they say. So that just came in Google Photos, which means I have other Google Photos to show you. Cool photos on today's show. I have Chantel's husband, but I forgot to snap a picture of Chantel, and I think she's okay with me using it. But her husband is with this preacher out in Arkansas. What's his name again? What's his name? Is it Robert or is it Bob? What's his name? Does he look the same each time? Anyway, um, Twiggy was the first supermodel, says, but she was on, you'd find her on like I don't want to say Ed Sullivan, but probably, some of these variety shows and talk shows, probably Mike Douglas and shows Merv Griffin, maybe. I don't know. Never saw her on Merv. But she you know, she caught the attention of people, and it wasn't because of her figure, it definitely wasn't. So I don't know. I don't know. It's been so a long, long time ago, but I can still remember how Twiggy would appear on my black and white TV. I don't think she sang or danced. Oh dear. Anyway, so the likes are up a little bit. 67 watching, 28 likes. Please hit the like button and the notification bell. Yeah, peach cobbler is delicious. Don't need no ice cream on it. No. Sometimes apple pie, though, goes well with the ice cream, right? That's the only one that I would probably put it on. I guess you could make a case for blueberry, but not cherry. I don't need it on my cherry pie. No. So let's go down to the bottom here. I'm Robin Roman. When I was young, my grandpa called me Twiggy, Boney Maroney. I like that. Those days are gone. Being diabetic now, aren't we all? We're either pre-diabetic or diabetic, so many of us. Never concerned about weight until after. Now, why do they put the word men in that? Did you ever think of that? Shouldn't it be M-I-N? Men a pause. Yeah, it's a pause for us guys because we're running out the door as frying pans are being thrown in our direction. Yikes! How that works. Menopause. It's kind of appropriate when you think about it. You get a little concerned during that time when you open up your underwear drawer and you find the hedge clippers. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If only that were true. Christari, Oklahoma. She's in Tulsa. You got to park close to the edge of the street. Don't get caught in the parking lot. They'll they'll box you in, but you're not going to be in a hurry to leave anyway, are you? Are you? I will make you a delicious caramel off apple cheesecake. Oh dear, that does sound good. Now, Robin Roman, have you ever done a amaretto cheesecake? Oh, that's good eating right there. But the thing is you just want to have a slice. I don't want to bring a whole cheesecake home because I'll have a second and a third piece if nobody's eating it. Happy Easter, everyone, says Jackie Organ. Same to you. It's Holy Saturday 2025 as we do this live. Hello, replay crowd. Glad to have you. You can comment in the section you have there. I love amaretto anything except the actual drink. I don't fancy that. I'm not big on that, but put it in food, yes. Put it in one of those little what do you call those things? You know, your creamers, flavored creamers. It's a coffee mate makes them and other people. But since I don't drink coffee, I'd be putting them in tea, and I wouldn't get the full experience of my amaretto. I don't really like a sweet tea unless it is chai tea. Then I put a little extra milk and cream in, some Splenda, or if I want to be reckless, honey, and that's my chai tea. Jack, that picture at the house, we're going to talk a topic here, huh? Is not Pastor. I've watched and do watch his sermons on YouTube. I get it. There are Pastor Bob protectors, but Ronnie Millsap, that's a good one. Is he still with us? I don't think so, right? I don't think he is. Ronnie Millsap even could tell with with that's not Pastor Bob, says Jody. Well, I agree with you, but I don't want to, I don't want to chastise anyone who does believe it's all one man, like Dave Mitchell, TCB. It's just I don't understand. Not only do we have Robert Wayne Joyce and Pastor Bob Joyce, we've got a bunch of lookalikes out there, which was very normal for Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley had doppelgangers. He had lookalikes to distract people as he wanted to move about and what have you. So, you know, you have made an amaretto cheesecake, huh? Ooh, absolutely delectable. I will surely make you a 7-layer. You're trying to kill me. A 7-layer one, huh? So I have to ask now, was that wife number 1 or wife number 2 that is paying you to kill me? I won't make any guesses because they're both wonderful ladies. And my stupidity played a role in both of the declines of the marriage. My stupidity. Hello, Claudette. Happy Easter, Jack, and everyone. Just getting my grandson's Easter basket ready. Did you put real eggs in there? Did you boil some eggs? Don't forget to boil them because it gets messy if you forget to boil the eggs. You know. But they were saying that eggs were going up this last week because of Easter. And all the Easter egg hunts, etc. Lisa says, I live 50 miles south of Tallahassee. Please please pray for the FSU students and community. Absolutely. We were watching that on Fox News. And I love your state so much. I wish I could live there, but it's just not in the cards, so to speak. Of course, you got to be careful in September, October. I don't know how it is in Tallahassee. I say get as close to Orlando as you can and live there because I've never heard of Disney World being destroyed in a hurricane. But in many other places, anywhere near the water, So Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi, said hi before, Jack, but it must have scrolled past or fast. Yeah, it does sometimes. I'm glad to have you here, Marianne. I see that gig is coming up for Jimmy Sturr and the orchestra in Clark, New Jersey again. The same one we talked about going to before, I think. I think you were going to come there, but I'm not sure that was the gig or not. But June 1st, I think, is Clark, New Jersey. And I'm thinking about going. I mean, heck, if Polka Norma and Polka Sean are doing the driving, well, Polka Norma, really, um, that'll be good. I think I would like to do that. And Karen's okay. Sometimes she wants to come and sometimes she doesn't, But he's got a gig a lot faster than that. There's still time for you to join us. Cost you a few shekels for the Polka weekend. But listen to a spot I did for Jimmy Stir on Polka weekend, okay? It tells you all the information. Put the mic down right here. Get ready for the 2025 Catskill Mountains Polka Weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, April 25th, 26th, and 27th at the beautiful Villa Roma Resort in Callicoon, New York. The weekend features 18-time Grammy winner Jimmy Stir and the orchestra. Special guest Hank Kasevich and the Polka family paying tribute to the music of Happy Louie and more. Enjoy the welcome party on Friday afternoon with Joe Stanky and the Cadets. Also featured from Buffalo, the Concertina All-Stars. Now, the price includes 2 nights lodging, 6 delicious meals, 8 hours of open bar, Saturday night along with Jimmy Stir, the nightclub show, Polka Mass on Sunday, plus dancing throughout the weekend. For reservations and more information, call 845-651-4266, 845-651-4266. Last year's Polka weekend was a complete sellout, so call today. We'll see you April 25th through the 27th at the beautiful Villa Roma Resort in the Catskill Mountains. Yeah. Or just go to Jimmy Stir, STURR.com, jimmystir.com. So I did that spot months ago, and Jimmy did not pick it for air. He's actually doing the spot, and I think he likes the music he uses. He has obviously access to a lot more than I do. He usually has another guy, but he didn't get to it in time, so Jimmy did the spot himself. So at least somebody gets to hear it. Somebody gets to hear it. And for a couple on Polka weekend, you'd have to call the office and book it, Monday or Tuesday, and pay in full. It's about $900 a couple. Depends on whether you get a regular room or you get a 1 or 2 bedroom suite, But it's for something a person, and it is 2 days and 2 nights of polka heaven. I mean, the food is incredible, the music is incredible. Best lobster bisque I've ever had. Then they have Caesar night on Saturday night. There's a hot tub. There's a pool. There's a game room. There's even bowling if you want to go over to the other building. And other activities. Karen likes to do the bingo on Saturday afternoon. She likes to do the bingo. So I had to save for this one, folks. I had to save to pay half of it in cash and half of it on a credit card. And there are just some things I don't want to miss in my life, and that's one of them. Those hurricanes were August 23rd, 24th, and September 24th. Okay, yeah. So were they bad in Tallahassee, Lisa? You might have said something already. Rocky Mountain Red Wing is here. The Pennsylvania Polka, you know it. We were down in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania a few Saturday nights ago to Mohegan Sun, and that was an incredible polka show. I have video from it, And by Monday, I'll put that up. I'll put up both Jimmy Sturr, but it's not going to be a polka song. He opened with a Pennsylvania polka. I'm going to put up probably the Sweet Caroline song because everybody got into that. And then some Johnny Mathis live at Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, the first of the last 4 concerts he will ever do. Johnny Mathis' last concert in his career will be May 18th at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, sold out. Sold out. Some stores are open tomorrow and some aren't. It's a religious holiday in a sense, so it's I think it's up to the discretion of the stores. A lot of them keep shorter hours. Pizza places, Italian pizza places for sure close on Easter Sunday. It's a very important day for them. Hello, Miss Carter. What's going down? How are you? Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings. Dollar Tree is open tomorrow, huh, Brenda? Christari, I love chocolate anything, really? Oh, dark chocolate. Yeah, you sound like Karen now. It's bitter. Unless you put it in a York peppermint patty, then I rather enjoy it. Just not a big dark chocolate fan. I love my milk chocolate, but, I'm trying to stay away from all this stuff. When they weighed me at the doctor's office, I had lost more weight than I thought I had. So I'm very happy about that. And that was before starting Ozempic. Dr. Gapai gave me a sample first, but then he ordered more and we picked it up at CVS. So he administered the shot in my belly. He said, well, I've got a large area to work with here. I said, pardon me. This didn't come easy. You got years of going to Crunch Fitness to achieve this. Or was that years of eating Nestle's Crunch? It's one or the other. I always forget, Sam. Sammy? Oh, you love the dark chocolate too, huh? It's supposed to be good for you. Yes, that's the point. Yes, that's what Karen always reminds me. But Kim, man, give me a Hershey almond bar. Give me a Cadbury, which they bought. It's not as good as since Hershey bought Cadbury. It's not as good as when they were over in England, and I used to get a delivery from my mom's relatives once a year for Christmas. That was better Cadbury, I think. I do think that. And then, of course, we have Ghirardelli. Best brownies. Don't tell me you get Betty Crocker brownies when there's Ghirardelli out there. But don't put chocolate chips in my brownies. No, Karen, no. I don't want chocolate chips in me brownies. I don't want anything in me brownies. I do want something in my brownies. What am I saying? I want walnuts. I don't want more chocolate in my extra chocolate brownies because Ghirardelli is the bomb. They are the bomb, baby. Captain Crunch. What are you, 6 years old, Ted Richards? Well, if we're going to go that route, I'm going to go for the cinnamon toasty crunch there, whatever it is. I do love that, but I'm staying away from it. Not buying it. Oh, I walked by the Fruit Loops, and 2 things I thought of, was our Secretary of Health, Bobby Kennedy, saying there's red dye in those Fruit Loops, but not the ones they send abroad, just for us stupid Americans that don't care, And we'll talk about Bob Joyce, I promise. This is kind of a general, I've had one heck of a week, guys. I produced a lot of product this week, and Andy has been up here twice, and because he did a wonderful job, Andy. So anyway, to finish the story, Ted, the only $1.99 for a decent sized box of Fruit Loops, and I didn't get it. We went to the Valero gas station where I first reunited with Karen in 2008, although not really till 2010. But I got her phone number then. She said she had a boarding house, and she was in the Valero station, and she was, which was called East Convenience Store at the time, scratching off those lottery tickets. That's a habit that hasn't died, I can tell you that. And they have a place in there called Jackie's Latin Kitchen, and that's where I discovered Tres Leche, those milk cakes with the whipped cream and the cinnamon and a walnut on top. Oh, 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 Trace Leche. So we were there Saturday. I needed gas. If I didn't get gas pretty soon, we'd be pushing the car. And then I had to go on to CVS to get all my new drugs and my testing strips and all that. It's unbelievable. And she was going into, of course, do a few scratch off tickets. And I said, see if they have the Trace Leche. And she said, yeah, they've got quite a few of them. And I was almost headed to the door when I said to myself, Jack, you've got to change your ways. You're on Ozempic now. The doctor is telling you, that you're going to, in 5 years from now, may not be so good for you. Just say no to that Trace Leche. I didn't want to, but I did. I did. Um, there's a story from the early 90s where a lady at a restaurant thought she saw a man that looked like Elvis. After he leaves, she goes over to the table, looks at the check. It was signed John Burroughs. Yeah, yeah. Heard all kinds of stories about that. We did some kind of a story about Elvis in the restaurant. I have pictures somewhere, but the thing that always makes me suspicious is when they capture a picture and he's like wearing the Elvis glasses. He's flashily dressed. I know that's not a word, but I thought I'd try for it. 41 likes. We're getting up there, but still love to see it equal the 72 people that are watching. So Tallahassee, Lisa. Taylor County, Perry, Florida, pray that we are hurricane free in 2025. Absolutely. So you are kind of in the danger zone. You have water nearby, do you? I mean, these were really bad, and it seems to be happening every year in parts of Florida. Just looking back here in case I missed saying hello to somebody. And going to go to some George Magazine content. You know what's happening in August in Hot Springs, Arkansas. George Magazine Live in 2025. Dave Blaze, the CEO, and Gene Ho, editor-in-chief, putting it all together. The spot that they gave me is not complete, though. It's kind of broken up, and it's not really like the radio spot yet. I assume they're going to do a radio spot. Boyd, Jimmy Stewart. Yeah, he definitely died a long time ago. There was a great story of Jimmy Stewart. I forget who told it. I mean, if I thought about it long enough, I think it might have been Rich Little, but I'm not sure. And Jimmy lived right there in Beverly Hills. And sure enough, it was easy to know where he lived because the tour bus would go by and tell you that was Jimmy's, did I say stir? Jimmy Stewart's house. Jimmy Stewart's house. And so the tour bus will go by. So anyway, one Sunday afternoon, Jimmy Stewart looks out of his living room window, and here's a couple that are parked in front of his house. They're bringing a picnic cloth, and they're going to they're going to lay it out on his lawn, and they're going to have a picnic on Jimmy Stewart's lawn. And Jimmy told this story to Rich Little, and Rich said, "Well, did you call the cops?" He says, "Oh, no, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that." He says, "Well, what did you do?" He said, "Well, I waited for a little while, and then I went out in the back and I turned the sprinklers on." Oh dear, that was the place, right? Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi. That was the one I was going to meet you at there a little earlier because I have relatives there, and I would have went and visited them. So this would happen again, is what you're saying, Marianne. You would want to visit the relatives and not come to the Jimmy Sturr show. So that the same thing, it would be like a Groundhog Day over and over. But I'm still willing to do that. If you go, I'll meet you there for 5 minutes in the parking lot, and then you'll go be with you. It's just not the same, Marianne Rossi. Uh, Not Donna Rossi. Um, but yeah, I think we're going to do it, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Judy Wright, not Betty Wright, the cleanup woman. I mean, she really cleans up. Good to have you here, Judy. And it's hard to express that when you're at a Jimmy Stir show, you don't want to miss too much. It's especially probably hard for someone, well, he's seen Jimmy Stir so many times, but you know. And now we have Sean and Polka Norma. And so all I can say is if we went, you'd be, invited. But I can see if you have relatives in that very city it is now. It's impossible. Ask a baby not to cry. It's just impossible. If I had you, would I ever want for more? It's just impossible. I remember too, Marianne, you told me there was a special event that time. So that's the was the reason you couldn't come to the polka show. I remember, but I no doubt there will be a special event that day. Thank you, Sam Semi, for hitting the thanks button for 279. Viva Las Elvis. Bob Joyce, who's he? Is it Elvis or is it Bob Joyce, huh? Make up your mind. I've never been known to vacillate. Vacillate is the word for the day, Michael G. Mikhail Gorbachev. Uh, Almost missed your broadcast, so I'm glad you didn't, because we like it when you're on live. What's been going on with you, Mikhail? I was told Pastor Bob was going to Mar-a-Lago on Wednesday nights for preaching. Well, that's something we'll have to look into. And, I don't know how much of the content we've done you guys have seen this week. Um, we got that 29-second video shot by Greg Pritchard from Atlanta, Georgia. And I played that. I had to have Andy for this one because we did 2 roll-in videos. And then I play from 2011, Pastor Bob Joyce, who is brand new to YouTube and what have you, heavy set, singing Come On To Me. And so we played 2 of those. And I said that the guy, Greg Pritchard went to Bob Joyce's house in the outskirts of Benton. And I'm not going to tell that whole story here, but you can watch the video. That spawned a couple more videos and hundreds of comments and lots of views. I'm very thankful for that. I think we learned something from him doing that, whether you think he should have went or not. It answers some questions for me that I've had for a long time, and yet I still can't come down firmly in any area. I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. So, Rocky Mountain Red Wing. I saw you somewhere else, didn't I, in a comment section. My mom will be 90 in July and saw Elvis at Fox Theater in Detroit back when he was 21. She says Bob Joyce could be Elvis. He was busy before the king. Now he was busy being the king. Now he just serves the king. Amen to that. Who knows what you're saying, Neo? I think once again you are nipping a little bit of gin. What's up with you, Claudette? That's actually what it was. It was a birthday, and I was going that way anyway. Well, not that you would go out of your way for me, Marianne Rossi. I understand now. I'm liking this less and less, Marianne. You want to meet in the parking lot this time. I see. I got you. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to compete with your family. So, if you got relatives in Clark, New Jersey, we better find another location. Um, One pair of hands, says Kitty Ewart. I will have to get out my decoder ring for that. Um, Merge Bob Joyce and Elvis names. I see. So let's see. Let me go for that George Magazine spot. They're starting to put together the entertainment. I don't think I see any musical entertainment there, although I'm not sure what the young lady. This is not video, of course. It's just audio, and this would really play better on video because you'll get to see Gene Ho right at the start. But if you go to georgemagazine.com, you'll be able to see this spot. But let's see here. Let's play a little of that.
Come on, George Magazine Live 2025. It's a place to be. Check out who else
Reach out and say I'm excited to see everyone soon at the George Live 2025 event. Dave Blaze and Gene Ho and myself, we're all going to show up. We're going to have a great time. Can't wait to see y'all.
Hi, I'm Tori DeLory, and I travel full-time in my self-converted camper van, and I can't wait to see you this August at the George Live event in Hot Springs, Arkansas, with special guests like Gene Ho and Dave Blaze. It's going to be so much fun, and I can't wait to see you there.
Because he's from New York. You order it Mexican, and not even from a restaurant. What you get it from a gas station? I think it is a gas station. Listen, if there's anyone here from stop laughing.
I didn't know that Sunoco is now making Mexican food.
Stop laughing. Anyone?
All right. Later on in the video, Marla Maples comes on, but she's only going to be there via remote. Marla Maples, yeah, one of the exes. Is that Dave Blaze I'm looking at there? It doesn't say. But this woman that you heard, who lives in her very nice van year round, that people that do that fascinate me, So I would be I'm going to look for more information on her. But it sounds like it's going to be fun, and there's more guests to be announced, I imagine, music and what have you. But you really ought to look into getting your tickets. Go to georgemagazine.com if you want to be a VIPer. Friday night, the festivities will start for you. And Saturday, let me see, how can I get back to the regular email? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Saturday, guest speakers, music, etc. Then there's a Saturday night after party if you're one of the VIPs. Otherwise, you can just get a day pass for Saturday. And Sunday, Pastor Bob Joyce will bring the Household of Faith service to the Bank OZK Arena. 4,000 or 5,000 seats, I'm not sure. Less than if they had a basketball game going on. That's how Gene explained it to me. But we go to the top here, and well, look at that on the Cash App once again. I believe this is current. Christina Wilburn, Patrick and Christina Wilburn, hit the Cash App for $10. Thank you so much. Cash App is lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY 56, lowercase Media Guy 56 for any amount that you want. If you have the Cash App loaded, it would be a great blessing to me. Very much needed as we try to honor responsibilities and what have you. And so we've had a lot of emails this week. We really, really have. And some of the pictures we'll be sharing with you if we get the okay to do that. And Some very interesting folks on the email this week. Back to the live stream. All right. Good night, Tammy Tessie. Good night, Tammy Tessie. Happy Resurrection Sunday. We recently visited Household of Faith, says Robin Roman. After church, Walina invited us to lunch. Bob Joyce scrolled through my cookbook on my phone. We made friends with an outsider who is coming to stay with us in July. Well, that's interesting. I wonder what that person's name is. Tell me in an email if you want, even just say the first name. Jack the Fair Guy, F-A-I-R, jackthefairguy@gmail.com. Huh, isn't that interesting? That is very interesting. Did you go to Applebee's? I've heard that the pastor likes Applebee's or Texas Roadhouse, perhaps. So thank you again, Patrick and Christina Wilburn. Are we talking about who now? Marla Maples? Who are we talking about here? Well, here's somebody new. Covey Woodward. My first time seeing you live. Hi, Covey. Is that you in the picture there? You look like a pretty woman. Pretty woman walking down the street. Where are you watching us from, Covey? I've never heard of a Covey before. When you say Woodard, that reminds me of Dark Shadows and Dr. Woodard. Just saw an episode with him tonight, Karen and I did. It's such a phenomenon, this show that was on from 66 to 71. And don't worry, I'm not going to go on and on about it. But Donna, I pronounce her name McKinchy. I don't know if that's right. She's a Broadway legend. But she did like 5 months on Dark Shadows in 1969 or 1970. And she was Quentin Collins' girlfriend. Beautiful, beautiful woman who has maintained her look. You know, you would still recognize her, same kind of hairstyle. And she was just in Wicked on Broadway for a good run. And in her 80s now. And right now she's out in California doing a play. And then she's going to come to the Dark Shadows reunion in Tarrytown, New York, at Lyndhurst Mansion on July 19th and 20th. We'll be there on the 19th. We never thought we'd get to meet her. But she says it's so amazing because she was only on there for 4 or 5 months. We're talking, it's almost 60 years ago that she was on there. And in the audience and at the end, when she greets people, oh, I loved you on Dark Shadows. We came because we saw you on Dark Shadows, not because you've done decades of great Broadway work. We don't live in New York, so we didn't see that. But we came because, we saw your picture and we said, oh, yes, Quentin's girlfriend from Dark Shadows. He had many girlfriends. Kate Jackson was after her. And so she just gets a kick out of the longevity. So she was motivated to say yes to Catherine Lee Scott, who played Maggie Evans, Josette Dupre, et cetera, because she wants to meet us Dark Shadows fans, see just how crazy we are. So that's kind of cool. Hello, Gail George. Yes, Gail is here. Yeah, I can only see a little tiny picture of you, but it looks very nice. Where were you watching from? General area, state of mind, anything like that, you know? Someone will start a bus tour around Benton, Arkansas. Well, they don't have any seats now, you know, so, and it's not going to be solved when they move to the new sanctuary. They're going to double the seats, but I don't know where the overflow room is going to be. Not in that building. So they're going to have to create, I would go for a nice prefab building is what I would do. And they're supposedly going to start work on the big sanctuary on the same property, about 10 minutes from where they are now in Benton. I suggested just find a department store that went out of business in downtown Benton and rent it. within a month or two, you can make it ready to go, and 2 months or so. And, there you go. Problem solved. You can put hundreds and hundreds of seats in there. But nobody listened to me. Nobody listened to me. God bless you. And again, thank you for hitting the Cash App, Media Guy 56. Happy Easter to everybody. Hope all is well. Mom watched Dark Shadows. Yeah, make me feel old. Karen watched it more than I did when I was a kid. We discovered it during the pandemic on Prime Video, and we are hooked. And I think it's in a whole unique class by itself that almost 60 years later has a huge fan base. Probably more than a dozen groups on Facebook. The Dark Shadows appreciation page is the biggest one. And they continue to have these reunions. So much of the cast has passed away. But at the one on the 19th and 20th in Lyndhurst Mansion, where they shot the movie House of Dark Shadows, this is not actually in the mansion, although they'll have a cocktail party in there Saturday and Sunday evening. That costs more. We're not going to that. We're going to a Saturday afternoon, well-priced, economically priced gathering. But you're going to have Catherine Lee Scott. You're going to have Donna McKenzie, who I just mentioned. You're going to supposedly, if it all goes well, you're going to have Nancy Barrett from now Phoenix, Arizona, who played Carolyn Stoddard. We never thought we'd get to meet her. We never thought we would. And also, we never thought we'd get to meet David Hennessy, because he's never done these things before, who played David Collins. And then Marie Wallace to boot. And Sharon Smith, who played Little Sarah. So it's the biggest Dark Shadows event since probably 2019, 2018, something like that. So it's really wonderful. We have seen Catherine there several times, usually by herself. And then once she was with Marie Wallace, one of the times we didn't go. So there you go. That's enough Dark Shadows talk. I realize not everybody's into it. 85 watching right now and 61 likes. There he is. Has he even said hello to me and I missed it? He probably did. There it is. Mr. Jack, the grand patriarch himself from West Palm Beach, Florida. Richard will not go to the sanctuary in Arkansas until there is guaranteed seating. I understand, Richard. I'm not in disagreement with your ambivalence. So welcome. Hi, Justin Battinger. Hey, good to have you here. Not Large Marge says, hello, Jack, and everyone. Happy Easter weekend to everyone. So, sorry, LOL, you look young. Yeah. It's amazing what that Garnier light natural brown can do for you, right? Thank you. So you think I could still be a chick magnet? No. Those days are gone when I used to have a fuzzy, big permed afro, and I'd be up at the radio station that's just about a mile up the road, a castle, a former state armory. And I was on overnights for a good time. Then I did evenings, and I eventually did middays. And, doing overnight radio, especially before I got married, obviously. Lonely women calling me up at 2 or 3 in the morning. And you'd always meet at a neutral spot, because you wanted an escape route. And I would always buy the breakfast at the Colonial Diner that I've talked about so many times here. Buy them breakfast and be very nice. This is a fan that listens to you on the radio. And if there was any interest on either side, then we take it from there, Then we take it from there. Those were the days, my friend. I thought they'd never end. And now, yes, I am 69. Next March, I'll be the big 70. I can't believe it myself. I can't believe it myself. Huh. Richard Lyon, going to try and go again, waiting for tornado season 2 and maybe end of summer. The tornado season won't end until November at least, right? Miss Claro says, you never have to go gray, LOL. Well, I'm not a Miss Claro customer, so I wouldn't know. But, Jimmy Sturr is 83 years old and still looks like Jimmy Sturr that I first saw in 1969 when he was in his 20s and I was 14 years old. So, the reason is because, well, he's in great shape, plays pickleball and everything. I'm not saying he looks exactly like he did when he was in his 20s. I'm just saying you still know that's Jimmy Sturr. Hair's great, what have you. I am 71 next month, says Covey Woodard. Well, now I'm feeling better, say? Yeah, and that's young today. 71 is the new 51. I just made that up, but it's probably right. J-Cat is here. Hello, Jack. How's your Easter weekend going so far? It's just been busy. Here I was at 2:30 this morning doing that video that you're seeing now. Let's go to my video list here. Yeah, I was doing this video. They never tell you what the actual count is. Like the Bob Joyce story explodes. And in a sense it did. And then I put in brackets, parentheses, possibilities, because that's what I speak of. I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. Now, if I go to this video, there's a Raymar and Flanagan spot. If I look at analytics, video analytics, it's got 1,561 views. So, a lot more than it says when you see it. Eventually they catch up, but it does drive me crazy sometimes because I think when someone sees a big number, they're more likely to click on it, 98 people have watched that video in the last 60 minutes. So let me go back. Really a nice thumbnail of Pastor Bob Joyce, the man you see preaching to camera most weeks, I'll say at this point, most weeks. And he is with a gentleman. I don't know if I have permission to use his name. He said I could use the picture. It's just a fellowship hall. So that's the thumbnail to that video. Nancy DeMarco commented on it because, I say in that video, there are some that will think I'm crazy for laying out the story that I lay out. I say new things that I've never said before in the Bob Joyce Story Explodes video. So watch that. Nancy DeMarco said, none of us are crazy. When you know, it's just like Buc-ee's. That's what I said to you. It's just like Buc-ee's. When someone mentions Buc-ee's and they're, if you mention it and they're not impressed, they've not been there. They've not been there. Miss Lasheen, I know you've been on live. Lashini, perhaps? Absolutely, Jack. I truly believe there are two pastors. You are spot on the whole situation. Thanks, Jack, for all your hard work. I enjoy your shows. Belinda, Jack, I booked my tickets to go see Pastor Bob this coming weekend. I'm excited to bring back some info or pictures. I would say both, Belinda Taylor, not to be confused with Andy Taylor. Sharon, I've been searching on this subject for many years. With God, all things are possible. M. Silva from the Lone Star State. I don't think you're crazy. I think it's our man, Elvis. Mike Harris. Hi, Mike. Are you watching now? I agree. Not the same man. Happy Easter, Jack, to you and family. So we lay out the story, and it does answer a lot of questions. And why should I give away those nuggets now? I want you to watch the video if you haven't. But it's doing very well since I only put it up this afternoon after 12, I guess, or just before 12. I can't remember. Also, we have an interview with Greg Pritchard, the man who went to Bob Joyce's house on the outskirts of Benton. And that is going over 3,000 views now, going over 3,000 views. It's a phone interview. He's a very nice man. I did not get the idea that that Aiden, his son, was anything other than a cool, typical 16-year-old, except he's got this musical talent and he wants to sing Elvis, and isn't that good? And other stuff too, like Nirvana, but still, I bet you I would love to go see his band. They're going to form in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And so we have the interview video. Check that out. And that all was started by this video right here. Bob Joyce at the house and church, same man, question mark. All those videos are related. And then there's the cartoon picture of me in a promo, Bob Joyce story heating up. And I announced that we now have 10,000 subscribers. So check out all those videos, please. If you haven't already, the cartoon picture has come in from Google Photos from Polka Sean. Polka Sean. I got a bigger size picture. There we are. Kind of cut off the virtual church of the disillusioned a little bit. But that is my first appearance in AI. Thank you, Polka Sean. Polka Sean. But that's not all Sean did. That's not all Sean did for me this week. There is, let me go back to the list here. There is a video. Was it a live show that I did? Where is it now? Where is it? I don't think it's live. I have to look now at my live list. Yeah, it is a live show. I put the thumbnail in later so people didn't comment it. Amazing Bob Joyce comments and questions from you. Wild stuff. That was our Wednesday live show. And it shows me with Pastor Bob Joyce. Let's see. I'll go to my phone here. That's got over 2,600 views now that I know of. And let's see here. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this live, though. So who knows what kind of quality I'm going to get, you know. But I want to thank Sean for doing it. He gave me some Barnabas AI pictures that are very amusing. Okay. So here's that. Never comes out great live for some reason. I don't understand that. Elvis's arm there in the back, Sean said, would have to be about 6 feet long to reach behind me like that. And Pastor Bob, which you can't really see here too well, is holding a Diet Dr. Pepper can. AI. Thank you, Polka Sean. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. All right. 69 degrees. Is it really right now? What a difference a weekend makes. A week, because we had snow. I love your pick with Pastor Bob. Well, thank you, Katina. I was very happy with that too. I think I've got this right, but I'm not really sure. I think, people have told me I look a little like this one and I look a little like that one, but no one ever told me I look like the actor Paul Sorvino. Paul Sorvino. Has he passed away or is he with us? I can't remember. I'm thinking it's not good, but I don't remember. It's hard to keep track. I said I had some other cool pictures. Let's see here. I do. For you. I might not go the full 2 hours tonight because I'm frankly spent from a few very busy days. So Chantel is someone who watches us from Quebec, Canada. French Canadian she is. I've got her husband here, I think, with the Pastor Bob Joyce that we all know and love. So next time I'll have Chantel. I think that she's okay with that. Very cool. Now, these people here, I've got to remind myself who they are before I show their pictures. Rest in peace, Wink Martindale, who passed away this past week. There Wink is in his young days with Elvis Presley. With Elvis Presley, they were great friends. And they dated the same woman named Sandy, who I think also dated Wayne Newton. Sandy got around, but she eventually married Wink Martindale. Elvis Presley and Wink Martindale. Back in the day. Karen and I went to the polka show, as I said, in Wilkes-Barre at Mohegan Sun a few weeks back. And here's a picture of us together. In the Keystone Ballroom, I think, at Mohegan Sun. That was an incredible polka show. I'm going to put up a video on Monday, I think, of the band playing Sweet Caroline. You'll see all the people dancing. Then I'll put up a little bit of Johnny Mathis, show one of his last 4 concerts that he will ever do. The last Johnny Mathis show will be at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center on May 18th. He's 89. He'll be 90 in September. He's starting to have memory issues, but he was letter perfect in terms of singing the songs. He couldn't remember the name of the person who has been his mid-show entertainment because he takes a break and does a second half. And Gary Mule Deer, for 38 years, has been doing this. Johnny totally forgot his name, and the conductor had to shout it to him. So there we are in Wilkes-Barre, and Karen did not play the slots. She did not play the slots. Have you ever played the slots, Richard? Thank you, Richard, Grand Patriarch, for hitting the thanks button for 1111. Which is your usual number. I appreciate that so much. Happy Easter. Yes, happy Easter to you, Richard. And you used the right color. Yeller. Very good. Oh, Pia Sedora, huh? Yeah, the picture's so small. You'll have to send me a bigger picture in my email, jackthefairguy, F-A-I-R, jackthefairguy@gmail.com. But I certainly remember Pia Sedora. She was around the same time as Twiggy, but Pia was a singer, and I think she did some acting, as I recall. Good night, Brenda. Good night, Brenda. God bless you. I even was accused of being Roseanne Barr in my 40s. Well, I hope you slapped them. I like Roseanne Barr, you know. She had a real good comeback there. What's J-Cat saying? We got 14 inches of snow yesterday, almost all melted. Colorado is wonderful that way. Well, enjoy. I know there'll be people there. I won't say you. There'll be people there going to the pot store and stocking up. Oh dear, we got pot stores here too in New York. Yes, we do. Yeah, someone once told me I looked like the guy who hosted Family Feud, Louis Anderson. Please, please. Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much down there in West Palm Beach, Florida. Have you seen Sean and Ashley Earnhardt out there shopping or anything like that? And did they get married or didn't they? Are those fake wedding pictures? I know they're going to probably get married, but I don't know. And he also bought another place in New York because she's, the weekend host of Fox and Friends. So he's not just a Florida guy anymore. He's got to go back and forth. Darlene Koberstein is here. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you. Teresa Lee Leonard. Nice pick, Jack. Happy Easter, my friend. Same to you, Teresa, one of our loyal family members. Don't touch pot, says Robin Roman. Oh, okay. Not even in a brownie? Don't drive and smoke pot, that's for sure. It can help people with pain issues, but, I'll respect your stance. Jack, did you notice that the pastor that Greg spoke to at the house did have the gap? Yes, I did, in his front teeth like Pastor Bob. Well, if he's doing an occasional switcheroo, I'll say this much that I say in one of the videos, the most current one, I think. He's got to copy that. Everything else, though, now people say, well, that thick mane of hair that you see, the pastor we see most of the time, Pastor Bob Joyce, that hangs down, that's a wig. He adds it to his regular hair. That's a piece that fits on. I happened to notice when he was at Mar-a-Lago, he had let the hair grow out and it was all hanging down and it looked very natural. It didn't look like a piece at all. So this is a very complicated story. Go through it and see what you think. But let's just say when at the Strip Mall Church, Pastor Bob Joyce looked into the camera and said, I should have talked about this earlier. I'm going to address it now. People say I'm one of two or three people. I just can't be myself, Bob Joyce. And that's a reference that people will say he looks like Kenny Rogers. But no, he has the Kenny Rogers look. And just like that, we're back. I'm wondering if YouTube is trying to tell me on Saturday nights do a shorter stream. They could just email me and tell me, But we're back and we kept most of the people, I think. That's been happening. Now, when I go to end the stream, it won't be so easy. And it could be frozen for a while before it naturally comes down. So you'll be able to talk amongst yourselves for a while. That'll probably happen. One seems to go with the other. So I lost my train of thought. But I know we were talking about Pastor Bob Joyce, and then there's the guy at the house. There's this guy right here. I personally don't feel, and we play the entire 29-second video that Greg Pritchard, I don't think that's the pastor that we see most Sundays preaching at Household of Faith. I don't think so. There I am in the hotel room in, where were we again? Oh, yeah. No, not Wilkes-Barre. We were just there. Here I am. Oh, yeah, to see Johnny Mathis in Shippensburg, PA, Best Western. Shippensburg. So there you go. It's a complicated subject. Anyone live near Austin, Texas? Asks M. Silva. I agree, Katina Swartzworth. I believe that is Bob Joyce. Okay, I know what I was going to say now. I was in the middle of saying it. So when he made this qualified denial, never mentioning the Elvis name from the strip mall church, and he looked into the camera and say, I'm Bob Joyce. I've never been anything but Bob Joyce. I now feel that he was telling the absolute truth. The absolute truth. The voice gave it away because it was the same voice I heard from the man in the house. The man in the house that Greg Pritchard encountered when he knocked on the dog. The dog let them know that someone was coming. And that voice that I heard there is the same of the man who made the denial. Is it a Texan accent? It sounds more like a Georgia accent to me. Doesn't sound certainly like the man that we hear talking before he sings Come On To Me in 2011. That man, when Bob Joyce was just starting his YouTube ministry, looks and sounds just like Elvis Presley, in my humble opinion. But I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. The other thing, and boy, I wish I don't even remember the name of the person or if they still watch me, but somebody out there, this is deep in my email. It would be very hard to find it because I got to clear my email and there's a few thousand to clear. It'd be very hard to find. But they told me the story that they went to the household of faith. This can't be that long ago because I believe it was the church they're in now. And there was a chatty, regular parishioner, so to speak, there. And they bonded. And at the end of the service, after she met Pastor Bob and everything, she said to the woman, would you mind showing me Pastor Bob's house? And she said, sure, I will. And she drove her over to a 2-story house with a black fence and a black gate. The gate was open, balcony in the front on the second floor. And in front was a black SUV that looks very much like the one we saw at Graceland in that grainy video. We think it's Pastor Bob Joyce leaving Graceland, stands for photos, and it looks like Lisa Marie is right next to him. Then he comes down to the SUV, and he's looking for something in the trunk or whatever, and finally he gets in the passenger side, and a chauffeur drives him away. It looked like the same one. Can't say for sure, but the idea is that Bob Joyce, Robert Wayne Joyce, who married Willina in 1975, never divorced Willina. He's not dead. I hope this is all true. I really do. And he lives in a modest house in Benton with Willina, but in another separate house lives the other Bob Joyce. So is there a switcheroo sometimes in when we show that that video that is doing so well? Where'd it go? It was doing so well. It's gone. No. Why am I not seeing it? I know that is a wild new Bob Joyce video. I'm just looking through the list. Oh, because I'm on the live section, dummy that I am. There it is right there. Wild new Bob Joyce video going over 10,000 views right now. The whole story is told there. The whole story is told there. And about 75% of the people felt that there are two pastors and that sometimes there's a switcheroo. One of the people commented in that video, watch the whole video. If you haven't seen it, watch it again. Wild new Bob Joyce video. They commented that they've been to the church 6 times in recent times. On 2 of those locations, 2 of those trips, they saw the other Bob Joyce. Close, but no cigar. So that's just what they said. And there you go. What else can I say? I do have a question. Why is there not dates on Lisa Marie and Ben's resting place? Have you been there? You've seen pictures? No one's ever said that to me. Does anybody know the answer to that? Hi, Jack. Did you try going to the website for the medication for Ozempic? This is going to be an anti-Ozempic person, and I certainly don't mind you cautioning me. Maybe they might have a discount card for you to use. My husband was on Eliquis. Yeah, the guy downstairs is. We pay $10 a month. Oh, yeah, I've got no problem at all. I think it was $15 for me, Anna. It's just that I'm on this Camzyos, and I'm on the Camzyos program, and my insurance approved it. If I were paying for Camzyos, which is for my cardiomyopathy, it's only been around since 2022, it'd be $100,000 a year. So there is a program that if my prescription runs out, in other words, if my personal plan, if I reach the capacity for the year, they will cover me. They will give me a separate little credit card and cover me just for my Camzyos. I'm in a study really with Camzyos. So why can't I be a paid spokesman? I think I'd like that. And so there's that. So I'm wondering what Ozempic would cost. Yeah, I may be looking for something like that in the fall if I run out of room on the 2025 allotment for my prescription. But since I worked for the city of New York for 19 years, I do have good coverage. I don't have to be on a Medicare Advantage plan. I have Medicare, regular Medicare, with Emblem to back it up. So there you go. Yeah, I'm not having any problems now, but I could have in the future. So I thought you were going to caution me. If you keep taking that Ozempic, you're going to turn into a unicorn, or worse, a progressive. Please, no. I'll stop immediately. The names are there. No dates that I saw. Huh. No one's ever said that to me before. Vic, practice tracks. Pastor Bob looks and sounds just like Elvis. End of story. Yes. But of course, the big topic this week, Vic, I don't know if you participated in any of it, was that, as I've said since 2018, there's Robert Wayne Joyce, who's about 73, and there's the other one who could conceivably be 90 years old. Huh. No dates. That is weird. I wonder. You know what some people will say then. But Kitty says, Richard, I do agree at this point, maybe, just maybe, they are all together and protecting. That would be wonderful. So Richard must have said something really controversial. Let me see here. I missed it, Richard. There you are. Maybe Willina, not Sue. How to spell Willina with a I. And that's how to spell her name, is really married to Robert Wayne Joyce. Exactly. She was in 1975 in Texas. So that was always a big question. Did she divorce him? What's going on here? And just covering for Bobby. So the movie gets even better. Well, now they're going to need 2 white-haired gentlemen. They're going to need Keith. They're going to need Kurt Russell to play Pastor Bob Joyce, the one we know and love. And then they're going to need another gentleman. And James Coburn's not alive anymore, so he can't do it. They're going to need another gentleman to play Robert Wayne Joyce. Be a great movie. Be a great movie that I hope gets made. And Richard says, are they even dead? Who knows anymore? Who knows, Richard? Is it too much for your medulla and cerebellum? I can kind of understand that. I just saw your post Rocky Mountain, and it sounds too wild for me, so I won't comment. Next, we'll be talking about the Illuminati. The Illuminati. Katina, I know you're a voice of reason. I've thought of that too, Richard. Maybe they renamed Friends, and she and Robert helped Elvis live his dream of being a preacher. Did you hear he said when he was young at school? I read that. Richard, stop drinking. That's all I can tell you. I know the first time ever I saw your face, I've seen and heard him. People thought I was insane at first anyway. Yeah. And that kind of works for keeping the story contained. You know, I'm fine with it. If you think I'm crazy, that's okay. But to my buddy and his 30-second spots, playing the same song or the same one or two songs over and over, you can't seem to get behind a microphone, reveal who you are, and, do a channel where you state why he isn't Bob Joyce and everything. It's just about denigrating other people, mostly me, but other people. And people don't respond to that. They don't respond to that. I know you'd like to be making money on YouTube. Ain't going to do it that way. You ain't going to do it that way. So, Jack, says Jody, I believe with the completion of the horse barn sanctuary, the truth will come in the form of an omission. In the form of an omission. You're being cryptic here, Jody, but that he doesn't know how much longer he has. Well, that's what got me to thinking. I mean, if he should be 90 years old, you can't take 2 or 3 years to build the big sanctuary, because as it's been said, nothing will be solved by the horse barn, really. Yes, there'll be potentially 300 seats when they've got 150 now, but you're still going to need an overflow room. And there's no room in the building to have an overflow room, so you can't put a tent out there in summer heat. How you air condition a tent? I know how you heat a tent, but I don't know how you air condition one. So we'll have to send Richard out there because he can probably do that. Neo. But you may just be a lunatic you're looking for. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. As I've often said, Neo, crazy women are a lot of fun, but you don't marry them. You don't marry them. Still risky, though, isn't it? You're going to go to sleep with a crazy woman next to you? You know what I'm saying? Tupac is still alive. Oh, boy, Richard. Yeah, and back in the day, Richard was a real hip-hop guy. He had the baggy jeans and everything, in Queens. Oh, yeah. He was getting down, do-rag, everything. Tupac is still alive, so it's a movie. And we, the people, have no idea what is really going on. I see. Now you're starting to sound like a Christian Scientist, Richard. This car that you're driving in doesn't really exist. But what's his name, who just passed away, was a Christian Scientist. The guy who played Jim Morrison, and also played in the Batman movie where Jim Carrey was the Riddler and Tommy Lee Jones was Two-Face. But yet he sought chemotherapy when he was told he had cancer. Richard wants me now to agree with him that Tupac is alive. I can only tell you I know nothing about Tupac, so I couldn't really give you an educated opinion. And, I was not a fan, obviously. I have to get to bed. Good night, everyone. God bless. He is risen. Amen, amen, amen. Praying for everyone. Yes, Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer was a Christian Scientist. Maybe he accepted Jesus before he passed away. Jack, we all forget when Priscilla slipped up and started talking about Elvis in the present tense on the Oprah Winfrey Show, right? One wouldn't just make that kind of mistake normally. Yes. In terms of me or preaching to the choir, I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. John Paul Cunningham, that is a great name. So what percentage would you put on Bob, or one of the Bobs, being Elvis? Well, first of all, welcome, John Paul Cunningham. You're either an author, or you used to be on the air as a broadcaster, or you should have been. I don't know what kind of a voice you have, but that is a professional name if there ever was. I love it. Richard Lyon only speaks of possibilities. I can't really see your picture, John Paul Cunningham. Well, I guess I was in the video that I just talked about. I always want to get the name exactly right. Wild New Bob Joyce video. We play two roll-in videos. We play the footage that Greg Pritchard shot when he went to Bob Joyce's house. I'm only doing this because I'm trying. It's my way of saying there are two Bob Joyces, in other words, he went to Bob Joyce's house. Well, Lena answered the door first, then Bob Joyce came to the door. But if you're asking, in that very video, Wild New Bob Joyce video, it's only 18 and a half minutes long, so check it out. We play early Bob Joyce when he first came on YouTube in 2011, heavy set somewhat. Not like Elvis was in 77, but he sings Come On to Me. He talks first. The voice sounds exactly like Elvis as he does the talk up. And then when he sings and he looks up and you look in his eyes, to me, my personal opinion is you're looking at Elvis Presley. So I guess we'd have to say 100% based on that. But that's just my opinion. That's all it is. That and $6.50 will get you a nice coffee at the Starbucks. That's all I can tell you. Not Large Marge. Talking to Christari. Please keep Christari in your prayers, please, tonight. She has brain cancer. Please keep Christari in your prayers. Richard Lyon says, the Bob I met is the real deal. Yeah, most of the time you won't be disappointed if you go to Household of Faith. But apparently there is a chance, and I only speak of possibilities, I could be wrong, that there is a switch off between two people. As I say in one of the videos, and probably all of those three videos that we just put up, Pastor Bob Joyce would have had no time to do any kind of plastic surgery to either look younger or to alter his look so he looked like somebody else, and the Pastor Bob Joyce we know and love wouldn't have to alter his looks, and he wouldn't want to not look like Elvis Presley because it's worked for him beautifully. But Robert Wayne Joyce would have all the time in the world to have plastic surgery. You're going to be down for weeks, bandages first, and bruising on your face and what have you. You'll be gone for a while, but it'd be okay because he doesn't have the schedule where he's got to preach every Sunday at Household of Faith, and that's been happening since 2011. So there you go. So to me, it answered a few questions. It answered a few questions that bothered me, but I'm not positive of any of it. Colby Woodard says, Jody, not if his name was legally changed. That reminds me of the old story that someone accessed the Memphis DMV and found that there are several cars leased to Elvis Presley. And then someone said a man with white hair and a beard has been seen driving them. Oh, dear. That's another thing out there. A little nugget for you. Yeah, see, Christari says that. Jack, my question is, does Pastor Bob file taxes under Robert Joyce or Elvis Presley? Because if you file with the wrong name, you can be in serious trouble. Yeah, that's a good question. Bob Joyce, Robert Wayne Joyce files taxes under Robert Wayne Joyce. I have no idea about taxes for who many of us feel is the other Bob Joyce, who seems to have materialized in 2011. Oh. Yes. Of course, after the show, the big YouTube creator that I am, I'll be doing dishes. Brings you right back down to earth, right back down to earth. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Please hit the like button, the notification bell. If you can hit the thanks button that you see here for a few dollars, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you, Richard, for hitting the thanks button for 1111. And before that, we had Sammy hitting it twice. Thank you so much. And I'll take one more gander here. Here it is. And thank you, Christina Wilburn, for hitting the Cash App, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56. Thank you for hitting it for $10. Appreciate that so much. Hey, Lynn, I see last time we were live, we shut down, and yet I couldn't pull the thing off the air, and you said hi then. So Lynn R. is here now. Pastor Bob looks and sounds like Elvis. End of story. Yes. Mr. Jack, I suppose those questions are normal. I know we all over the board, we're all over the map or the board, but it's normal, isn't it? Well, as long as you don't get too obsessed with it. Well, look at that. He's brand new. I love it when the new people do this. John Paul Cunningham hits the thanks button for $9.99. Thank you so much, John. You're kind of like our guest tonight. You say you're new, so Thank you very much for that. We have a lot of videos here, both pre-recorded and past live shows here at the virtual church of the disillusioned, depressed, and downtrodden is the full title. I called it that in December of 2015 when we formed the channel, because at that time I was just trying to reach out to people that were totally sick of maybe they've been disillusioned in a church or what have you, church games. You heard of head games. Well, they play a lot of head games and the church games, and things like that. So I was just going to come on and be non-judgmental, although hold up the gospel of Jesus Christ and not hit people over the head with a Bible this size, which I'm going to read from, because at the end of the show, we like to do that. Thank you, John Paul Cunningham. What a name. What a name. All right. Should have had this planned to know which gospel I wanted to use. I'm upset with myself for not being ready for this, but talk amongst yourselves, because I know bonds are formed here at the channel. All right, we'll use the Gospel of Luke here. The Jews brought Jesus to Pilate, 23rd chapter of the Gospel of Luke. They brought Jesus to Pilate for his judgment on what to do with him. Verse 13 of chapter 23, then Pilate, who had been called together, who had called together the chief priests, the rulers, and the people, said to them, you have brought this man to me as one who misleads the people. And indeed, having examined him in your presence, I found no fault in this man concerning those things of which you accuse him. No, neither did Herod, for I sent you back to him, and indeed nothing deserving of death has been done by him. I will therefore chastise him and release him. For it was necessary for him to release one of them at the feast. And they all cried out at once, saying, away with this man, and release to us Barabbas, who had been thrown into prison for a certain rebellion made in the city, and for murder. Pilate, therefore, wishing to release Jesus, called out to them, but they shouted, saying, crucify him, crucify him. Then he said to them the third time, why, what evil has he done? I have found no reason for death in him. I will therefore chastise him and let him go. But they were insistent, demanding with loud voices that he be crucified. And the voices of these men and of the chief priests, and the voices of these men and of the chief priests prevailed. So Pilate gave sentence that it should be as they requested. And he released to them the one they requested, who for rebellion and murder had been thrown into prison. But he delivered Jesus to their will. Now, as they led him away, they laid hold of a certain man, Simeon, Syrian, who was coming from the country, and on to them they laid the cross that he might bear it after Jesus. And a great multitude of the people followed him, and women who also mourned and lamented him. But Jesus, turning to them, said, Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For indeed the days are coming in which they will say, Blessed are the barren wombs that never bore, and breasts which never nursed. Then they will begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and the hills cover us. For if they do these things in the green wood, what will be done in the dry? There will also be 2 other criminals led with him to be put to death. And when they had come to the place called Calvary, there they crucified him and the criminals on the right hand and the other on the left. Then Jesus said, Father, forgive them. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they divided his garments and cast lots. And the people stood looking on, but even the rulers with them sneered, saying, He saved others, let him save himself, if he is the Christ, the chosen of God. The soldiers also mocked him, coming and offering him sour wine, and saying, If you're the king of the Jews, save yourself. And an inscription also was written over him in letters of the Greek, Latin, and Hebrew. This is the King of the Jews. Then one of the criminals who were hanged blasphemed him, saying, If you are the Christ, save yourself and us. But the other, answering, rebuked him, saying, Do you not even fear God, seeing you are under the same condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we receive the due reward of our deeds, but this man has done nothing wrong. Then he said to Jesus, Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And Jesus said to him, Assuredly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. Now it was about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over all the earth until the 9th hour. Then the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was torn in two. And when Jesus had cried out with a loud voice, he said, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. Having said this, he breathed his last. So when the centurion saw what had happened, he glorified God, saying, Certainly this was a righteous man. And the whole crowd who came together to that sight, seeing what had been done, beat their breast and returned. But all his acquaintances and the women who followed him from Galilee stood at a distance watching these things. Now behold, there was a man named Joseph, a good and just man. Then they returned and prepared spices and fragrant oils, and they rested on the Sabbath according to the commandment. Now on the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they and certain other women with them came to the tomb, bringing the spices which they had prepared. But they found that the stone was rolled away from the tomb. Then they went in and did not find the body of the Lord Jesus Christ. The risen Christ appeared, and he said, These are the words which I spoke to you while I was still with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses and the prophets and the Psalms concerning me. And he opened their understanding that they might comprehend the scriptures. Then he said to them, Thus it is written, and thus it was necessary for the Christ to suffer and to rise from the dead on the 3rd day, and that repentance and remission of sin should be preached in his name to all nations, beginning in Jerusalem. Part of the Gospel of Luke concerning the risen Christ. If he be not risen, our hope is in vain. So that's what we have. Happy Easter 2025, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Worldwide Ramblings. I suspect you'll be able to keep chatting for a while. We'll say hello to Brenda Sweeney, and had a nice group of people tonight, 81 watching right now. It's going to take a while to get the stream off, so the replay won't start until obviously that happens. Watch all our recent videos on the firestorm, the Bob Joyce firestorm we had this week, which all started when Greg Pritchard went to Bob Joyce's house in the outskirts of Benton, Arkansas. It's quite a story, and we have 3 videos on it, so check that out. Bye-bye for now.